Welcome to the Tuesday of Holy Week. We come in this part of our journey as we look toward the end of the week, the meal that Jesus ate with his disciples, the death of Friday, the silence of Saturday, and the empty tomb of Sunday. And today we're going to look at Jesus' characteristics as a teacher. Hear these words from Isaiah 50. The Lord God has given me the tongue of a teacher, that I may know how to sustain the weary with a word. Morning by morning he wakens my ear to listen to those who are taught. The Lord God has opened my ear, and I was not rebellious. I did not turn backward. I gave my back to those who struck me, and my cheek to those who pulled out the beard. I did not hide my face from insult and spitting. The Lord God helps me. Therefore I have not been disgraced. Therefore I have set my face like flint, and I know that I shall not be put to shame. He who vindicates me is near. Who will contend with me? Let us stand up together. Who are my adversaries? Let them confront me. It is the Lord God who helps me. Who will declare me guilty? All of them will wear out like a garment. The moth will eat them up. In this passage of Isaiah's telling of the servant, it starts with having the tongue of a teacher. And we know that the last week of Jesus was filled with some of his most profound teachings. It was like he was trying to cram it all in together for the final exam, so to speak. That was when he had the parable of the bridesmaids and the talents, the story of the fig tree, the tenants that were unfaithful. And so as we hear all of these stories and these lessons, we know that he's trying to teach us something. So what are we learning from Jesus last week? Well, first of all, we know that sooner or later, we who are his followers will face consequences of our actions. We see this in the character of Judas and of Peter. We know that the disciples who were so faithful during his life did not quite pass that final test. But we also learn something else in that. We learn that Jesus does not pretend that we will be more faithful than we are. I find that kind of profound too. Jesus doesn't expect that. Jesus knows that we will fail. But what we are promised is that the trustworthiness of God is what we stand on. We also learn that in the face of tough times, including death and betrayal and denial, Jesus shows how to respond to that with grace and dignity. We hear of the servant in Isaiah talking about those who persecute, who harm, but he's not put to shame. I think we think if we are persecuted, then we have somehow been shamed, but we are only shamed when our actions are not in alignment with the lessons that Jesus has been teaching us. So as you go through this Holy Week, think about the faithfulness of Jesus, the lessons that he teaches us about faithfulness, the way that he stood up with dignity in the face of persecution and even in the face of personal pain. How is he teaching us to handle our lives, particularly our lives at this point in time, with grace and dignity as well? May God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.